Hi, friends. Welcome to Immigration News by Ting Law. My name is John Ting, your host. We practice immigration law in Texas and all 50 states of the United States. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button and leave a comment. We have an update today regarding temporary protected status and specifically whether that counts as admission into the United States for the purpose of obtaining resident status, or other people in the legal world use the word adjustment of status. Now, this memo by Policy Director Joseph Edlow was based on a decision called Matter of ZRZC that was issued on August 20th, 2020. And so we want to make sure you have the accurate information, that you have proof of what we're saying. So check out the link of this case in the description below. So please review it so you have a better understanding of how this current administration is really pushing and making it difficult for immigrants to obtain legal status. And it's not just about the border wall. He's trying to remove all the different mechanisms that are authorized by law. And now he's just chipping away at it. So we have to fight back. We have to vote. If you know a U.S. citizen, please encourage them to vote. If you are not a U.S. citizen and you're only a resident or no status, do not even register to vote. That will get you in trouble and potentially be a criminal case against you. The USCIS Policy Director Joseph Edlow had stated in a memo that superseded a case called Matter of Urabelli, and that was in 2012. And that was a case where essentially stating that a person who has TPS can apply for advanced parole, right? So they can travel abroad, even if they don't have actual legal status other than TPS. And when that person returns, that return will count as being legally inspected and admitted into the country. And that requirement right there is necessary based on 245A of the Immigration Nationality Act, so that someone could adjust status in the United States. Or we can call that, of course, obtaining resident status. And so what the USCIS is now stating is that, sure, the TPS person holder can still use advanced parole, go back, travel, come back, but they cannot use it for the purpose of obtaining resident status. So that's a huge heartbreak notice right there. It's breaking news. We want to let you know as soon as possible, because we don't want you to have to apply for advanced parole and then come to find out later that you couldn't actually use it for the main reason that you applied for it. And that was to obtain resident status through, for example, a U.S. citizen spouse. We've had this question come up several times this past couple of weeks, actually just around the time of this memo from Policy Director Joseph Edlow. Now, USCIS does recognize that people who have applied for advanced parole, received it, got approved for it, and actually did travel abroad before this announcement on August 20th, and they do return, that unfortunately they cannot use it for the benefit of adjustment. And they also noted in the memo that anyone who has already obtained permanent resident status through this method, then in the past before August 20th, and has the actual green card already, that this memo, this new policy, will not affect them. So this will be in a policy in effect starting on August 20th, and so a couple weeks ago. So we want to share this news as soon as possible, because applying for the Form I-131 is quite expensive. So we don't want you to have to go through that whole process for 3-4 months waiting time for the processing time to be completed, and then come to find out, you find out from your attorney that this is not possible. So that's why it's very important that you share the entire reasoning to your attorney why you want to apply for a certain thing. And some attorneys will pry and will ask you a lot of questions to just confirm why you're applying for this, because most people apply for it for the purpose of obtaining resident status. I also want to make sure that y'all know that if you do travel abroad with TPS and advanced parole, that that when you return, that you will be afforded the same status. That will not be revoked. So this memo has nothing to do about that concern. This is only about whether someone can apply for adjustment of status based on this method of traveling abroad and then come back, because that is considered admission. Now, I mentioned that someone who has TPS and already has advanced parole, and they can travel, right? But another side tip here is that another important tip here is they should not travel abroad if they have certain reasons of that they could be deported, and so we call that inadmissibility grounds. So, for example, if there's a recent arrest or any kind of criminal history, talk with an immigration lawyer to see if you qualify to still come back, to make sure that there's not an inadmissibility ground that would trigger if you leave the country. Okay, so I hope that helps. Thank you very much for listening. If you gained value from today's news, please hit subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button and leave a comment. Let us know if you've been able to obtain resident status already through this, or you know other people going through this process. And we would want to make sure that they have the accurate information.